What's up, guys? Today we're going to continue working on some development of the website. We're going to finish getting the basis of our project set up, just the basic things that we need to do so that we can start coding this website. Now, it is very late right now, so I am very tired, and I'm just warning you right now, I'm not going to be super energetic throughout the rest of this video. But anyways, let's go ahead and just jump on into this project and get some of the basics finished. I'm probably going to talk about some includes, and I might briefly go over the layouts a little bit more with Sass in this video, but we'll see how much we get done. Hopefully next week we can continue working on this and we can actually start working on adding in all of the HTML elements so that we can make the website look how the design does. Alright guys, so I've got the project open right here, and I haven't changed anything on this design, but I have gone ahead and I've added like this little color palette here, just pulling the colors that we're using throughout this design so that we can implement them into the actual code and set them up as variables. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull up, I have both the terminal and Atom right here. So here's Atom and here is the terminal, and I have gone ahead and increased the font in this just a little bit. I've gotten a few requests for increasing the font a little bit in these videos, and now with the monitor setup that I've got going on here, I feel a little better doing that. So anyways, let me know if this font size works for you. I'm curious to see if this is easier to read on a mobile device or whatever device you guys are watching it on. And actually go ahead and comment down below what device you're watching this on. I'm very curious because I mean, you guys are the ones consuming all of this content, so I want to try and do whatever I can to make how I'm presenting everything in these edits the most visible and, you know, the easiest to see for you guys. So let me know what devices you guys are mainly using to watch these videos. So we still have the folder right here. This is the folder for the project, I believe, right? Yes, it is. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're gonna cd into that folder, but we gotta go to the desktop, and then I'm gonna do / Zachary R. Newton right there, and then we're gonna run bundle exec Jekyll serve -- watch -- base URL and the 2 quotes. Alright, so it looks like the server is running. Let me go ahead and pull up a web browser. Alright, here we go. Bring it over here, and let's go to localhost. There is our hello world text. So let's pull up our Atom editor right here, and we will just go ahead and remove this. So let's go and look at what we got. We should start working with the default layout. I don't remember quite everything that we did on this, but where is this at? Layout, default. All right, so we've got you know, the doc type is HTML. We've got the HTML, the head, the body, and then here we have our content set. So one thing we do need to do is we need to fill this head in so that it'll work with all of the website. And to do that, we're going to use an include. That way, if we ever have to make a change, we can make it in one place and have it reflect throughout the entire website. So to do this, we need to create a new folder within here. So we're going to create a new folder underscore, and this is going to be includes. And then in here, we're going to create a new file, and I'm just going to call this head.html. All right, so let's go ahead and where'd our default layout go? We're going to include that include. I believe it's going to be curly brace %, and then include space head, that's dead, head.html, and then let's, you know, close this out. I think that's right. I might be missing something. Let me Let's write a title. And let's just call it that for right now. Let's go back to the web browser and refresh. Okay, there we go. It is working. So that worked perfectly. Right there is the title, Zachary, inside of the head. So I'm not sure how much of this we're actually going to do today. I just want to get the ball rolling a little bit. So we'll see what we get done. I think we're just going to get a bit more of this project set up, and we might start, working more on the HTML, but there's a few things we got to do. We got to start setting up the layout a little bit more, creating the includes that we need, some of them at least. And then we also need to go ahead and import our browser resets and things like that. And I have a gist, I believe, on my GitHub account for a browser reset, just so we're resetting all the styles. Let's go ahead and instead of just typing this in here, we actually want to use a variable. So if we come to our config.yaml, you'll see the title right here is Zachary R. Newton, and this is what I want to use. So to do that, we're going to use this variable. Now, all we got to do to use that, use curly brace, site dot base URL. I'm sorry, not base URL, site dot title. All right, and that's really all we need to get that going. If let's go back to the browser and refresh it, and then you'll see it change, Zachary R. Newton. Come over here, refresh it. There, it's done. That's all we need to do to get that that title in there and get that going. Now, I do know we are going to want to add some other meta tags, and so I'm going to pull some from my current website. Let's see here. This is my personal website, but I do know there is some stuff that I am going to want here. Let's see. We're going to want this bit. We can come over here, paste this in. Just like that. And then we're going to want, what else we got here? We are going to want these OG titles and OG image and OG type, all of this stuff. We are going to need those, the favicon, the Apple Touch icon. Yeah, we're gonna need all of those as well. We're just not, including the description. We're just not gonna be using them right away. And I'm just going over here and copying this because it's easier than writing all this stuff in a bunch of times, but I'll give you an idea of what we've got going here. So, we're setting our character set right here. We're setting the content type, our viewport. We're giving our website a description, and then all this stuff is for Open Graph right here that you see with the OG. And that's going to help significantly when we're, texting or sharing the link to somebody, whether it is through SMS. Well, I don't know if that's just SMS does it, but whether you're texting a link to somebody or sharing it on a social media platform or anything like that, this is what we're going to need right here. And we can set a title and image. The type is going to be website, and we can give it a URL. And then Twitter requires they require Twitter card and Twitter site. They'll still read the Open Graph here, but we do need to add these couple of things here so that it will display properly if you share this on Twitter. And then we have our favicon, which we haven't added yet, and then our Apple Touch icon. And I am just gonna go ahead and change that right there. And we can go ahead and delete some of this right now, just because this is not what we need. This is not what we're gonna have in here. That can actually stay the same. This is gonna change. Change. This is gonna change as well. Whoops. And then let's see, everything else I think is perfectly fine if we just leave it how it is. let's go ahead and let's get this description in here, and we are going to use the variable that we've got right here for description. It's going to be super simple, just like we use title. It's going to be curly brace site dot description, and that's going to pull in our description. We can come back here, refresh this. Here's all of the code that we just added, and here is the description that in our config.yaml file is. I need to write this description. But anyways, that'll be fine for right now. We don't need to do anything with that. So one other thing we are also going to need to add in here is our link to our CSS. So we're going to do link relative equals style sheet. This is going to be type equals text / CSS, and then href is going to equal, let's see, we're going to go to, it's going to be assets CSS, and then it's going to be styles.css. So we got assets CSS, styles.css, and let's come over here, refresh this, and see if this is loading. It's pulling up a file, but I don't see anything in it, and I think that's just because we haven't written any Sass. Yeah, it's just because we haven't written any Sass. So we can actually come here and go to our base, and we're going to, let's create a file and call it styles.sass. And then I'm just going to say, let's do body background pink. We'll set that for now. And then we need to import this into our directory that we've got set up here. So import styles, and then that should load here. There we go, body background pink. And if we came back here and refreshed it, now it's that wonderful pink color. So we can get rid of this little bit for right now. We don't need that, but we do have our styles.sass file set and ready to go to add some, add some styles. That's where we're going to add some of our variables that I've picked out for us. So this is working, and that's all we're going to worry about for that right now. Let's see. So we've got our head, we've got our body with the content. That I don't really think we need anything else right now. That's everything that we really need to get this going. We've got a spot for our all of our meta tags, our content. We don't need anything down here. We will create a footer include later on in this series, and that footer include is simply going to contain this right here, what you see down in the footer, and that's it. So it's going to be very, very, very simple. So we can go ahead and we can get started on adding these as variables in a moment. First, I want to get our browser reset. So let's go to github.com. Sign in. Apparently I'm not signed in. And then I want to go ahead and I want to pull up my gists right here. And what do I have? Normalize. There we go. So I'm going to copy all of this. It's set up as Sass, so it's just going to work right away when we import this. Let's go over to our project, and in base, we want to go ahead and we want to add another file and call this normalize.sass, and in here we'll paste this, and then over here in our directory, we're going to we'll import this, and I want to import it before I'm declaring any other styles. So we're gonna say normalize right there, and that should populate this with a bit of code. There we go. And the reason it's all displaying like this is because we had set in our config.yaml file, we set the style of the Sass to compressed, so that's why it's all compressed here, and I quite like that. So That's good. This is good. We will add all this other stuff later on. We added the meta tags. All we're really going to need to do is add the links to where they are and just add whatever we're going to want to say in here. So that's fine. We don't need to keep talking about that and going on about that. What we do need to do, however, is set up those variables for those colors, because those are something that we are going to use throughout this website. And I want to have one local place where we can change those colors if we ever need to. So to set these, we're going to do $, and then we're going to give it a name. So I'm going to name this first one white, and then colon, and then this is where we're going to add our value for the variable. And it's this is how you add variables in Sass. It's quite simple. And it is very helpful. Although I do know that you can add variables in CSS, and that's something we might implement in the future on this. I don't think we're going to implement it right now. We're just going to focus on using these Sass variables. So let's open up XD and get some of these hex codes. So I believe these first two are just straight, pure white, and this is pure black. Sounds good. So we're gonna do for white, it's gonna be pound FFF. All right, that's good. Now we're gonna come down here and we're gonna do black, and this is going to be pound 0000000. So we've got those two variables set right there. Now we can come over here and we're gonna grab our next one. So this is our next lightest, and I'm just gonna call this let's call it light 1, like that, and then just put that in here, and then we're gonna do light 2, and then let's grab that. Where is it? This one we'll call light 2. Oops. And then we're gonna do the same for dark. So we're gonna have dark 1, and then we're gonna have dark 2. Let's grab the values for those. So this is gonna be dark 1 here. And this is gonna be dark 2. Right there. And then we've also got these other two colors here, and it's not like a primer. I'm not really doing any like primary and secondary colors where it's like, a strong color. I'm keeping the color palette very muted, very just simple. It's not having any very powerful colors except for these buttons, but we're only using the brand colors that, go with those brands. So I'm just going to call this, should we call it light 3 and dark 3? Or should we just say secondary light, secondary dark? I think I'm going to do that secondary light and secondary dark in case I ever want to change those a little more. So we're going to do secondary light and then secondary dark, and let's get those values as well. So this is going to be for the light right here, and then this is going to be for the dark. All right, so there we go. We have gotten some variables set up right here for our colors. We got white, black, light 1, light 2, dark 1, dark 2, and our secondary light and secondary dark variables. And we can use those throughout this project. And if we ever want to change what those colors values are, we can just come right here and change it right here. So let's go ahead and just take a look at what font we're using. I think it's just Helvetica. Yeah, it is Helvetica. So let's create a variable for that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and set up a variable here for the font family, and I'm just going to call it font family, and we're going to set this to Helvetica, and then we're going to set the next one to a sans serif font, just like that, and we can use that wherever we want as well throughout this, but we are going to go ahead and on the body we're going to set that font. So we're going to say font family, and we're just going to set it to that variable of font family right there. Now let's see if this loads. So none of this should really, you know, be in our CSS output, but this right here, this line should be. So let's come over here and open this up and take a look at the CSS file. And if we come back here, body, font family, Helvetica, and sans serif. So that's fine. Whichever one of these we can use, that'll work. Alright, so let's go ahead and come back and take a look at our project real quick and see what we've got going on. It is nothing complicated whatsoever. We've got, you know, our HTML set up and our Sass is ready to go. We've gone ahead and we've added our include here for our head. So this is how you set up your include right here. Just put it in the underscore includes file, and it's just a simple HTML. I believe it can also be a markdown file as well. And then we have our layouts right here. This will show you where we're including this, where we're allowing the content to be that's using this layout. So all of our HTML is really set up. All of our Sass is ready. We're using this normalize Sass right here to, you know, reset all the browser default styles. And then we are coming over here and we are setting some of this stuff up. So we've got our variables for our colors, our variables for our font family, and we're setting our font family right here. One other thing I do want to do is add font size 100%. And then this is going to allow our rems and ems to work properly throughout everything. And if we ever want to change what the value of a rem is, we can just change this percentage here. So I believe it defaults at 16 for the browser, 16 pixels, so at 100% here. So if we change this to like 50, then that would be 8 pixels instead of 16 pixels, and that is how that should work. Alright guys, that's going to be it for this video. We got, I think, everything set up in this project that we're going to need to before we jump into adding in all of the HTML and the Sass to make the website look like how it's supposed to. So next week we are actually going to start working on this website and start getting in all of these HTML elements and start actually developing the site. Now that we've got the basis of Jekyll set up and ready to go, we are going to, we're going to work on the site. So I'm hoping it's only going to take a few more videos to get this website finished. It's not a very large website, but we'll see how they go. And I might make the next videos a little longer, just so that we can get these done in a shorter period of time as far as weeks go. So anyways, that's what I'm going to be doing. I'll catch you guys in the next one.